So you're thinking about upgrading your TV.
Uh-huh.
And you want to make sure you're getting the absolute best for your money.
I am.
Especially with all the deals popping up as we head into 2025.
Right.
We get it. Choosing a new TV can feel like navigating a maze of tech specs and marketing hype.
It definitely can be overwhelming.
But don't worry.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We've got a stack of expert reviews from YouTube to guide us through the top TVs of 2024.
We do.
Exactly. We've got Digital Trends, CNET, and even one from Smart U Shopper that looks at what's trending.
Right.
Which, as we all know, isn't always the best. And let's be honest.
Yeah.
With 2024 models starting to see those price drops, now's the perfect time to snag a deal.
Absolutely. It's the sweet spot for smart shoppers who know that last year's tech can be this year's bargain.
Okay, let's dive right in.
All right.
We know you're probably familiar with the basics of TV technology.
Yeah.
But just to make sure we're all on the same page,
Yeah.
let's talk about the two main contenders you'll see out there.
QLED and OLED.
Right. QLED TVs are essentially LCD TVs with a little boost.
Okay.
They use quantum dots to enhance color and brightness, giving you a picture that really pops.
So they're really good in bright rooms then.
Especially in brightly lit rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of them as the workhorses for handling those sunny afternoons when you're trying to catch the game.
So if you've got a lot of natural light flooding your living room, a QLED might be the way to go.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But what about those movie nights when you're creating that perfect home theater atmosphere?
That's where OLEDs really shine. Instead of a backlight, each pixel in an OLED TV emits its own light. This means they can achieve those incredibly deep blacks and stunning contrast that make everything on screen just come alive.
Yeah.
It's like having a window into another world.
Oh, wow.
Especially for movies with those dramatic dark scenes.
I could see why people rave about OLEDs.
Yeah.
It sounds like a completely different viewing experience.
It is.
But I've heard there can be downsides to OLED technology, like burn-in.
Is that still a concern?
It's a valid concern.
Okay.
But it's less of an issue than it used to be.
Okay.
Burn-in happens when a static image, like a channel logo, is displayed for an extended period.
Right.
And it leaves a faint ghost image on the screen.
Yeah.
But with newer OLED models, the risk is significantly reduced.
Okay.
Especially if you vary your content and don't leave the same image on for hours on end.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It sounds like both QLED and OLED have their pros and cons. So how do we know which technology is right for us? Should we be focusing on one over the other?
It really depends on your individual needs and viewing habits.
Okay.
For example, if you're someone who watches a lot of HDR content, you might lean towards QLED.
Okay.
HDR, or high dynamic range, is becoming increasingly common.
Right.
And it basically expands the range of colors and contrast,
Yeah.
making everything look more realistic and detailed. QLEDs are typically better at handling HDR content because they can get brighter than OLEDs.
So brighter equals better for HDR.
Generally, yeah.
I never knew that. But wouldn't that mean OLEDs are at a disadvantage in brightly lit rooms?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
While OLEDs might not reach the same peak brightness as QLEDs,
Right.
the latest models are definitely getting brighter.
Okay.
And remember, that perfect black level and incredible contrast still make a huge impact, even in a bright room.
Oh, okay.
It's like the difference between seeing stars on a clear night versus a night with a lot of light pollution. The stars are still there, but they just don't pop as much.
That's a great analogy.
But
It helps to visualize the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a handle on the technology, but let's get down to brass tacks.
Right.
Which TVs are actually worth buying? Where do we even begin with all the options out there?
Let's start with value. If you're looking for a TV that delivers impressive performance without breaking the bank, Digital Trends has a standout pick in the QLED category, the Hisense U7N.
Value pick, huh? Tell me more. I'm always looking for a good deal. What makes this model so special?
It's all about getting the most bang for your buck.
Okay.
The Hisense U7N offers near-premium picture quality at a price that's significantly lower than many of its competitors.
Wow.
You get vibrant colors, impressive brightness, and good HDR performance, all without emptying your wallet.
That sounds almost too good to be true. Is there a catch?
Well, there's one potential issue that's been reported with some units, and that's something called dirty screen effect.
Okay.
Essentially, it means the backlighting might be a bit uneven, giving the picture a slightly blotchy look.
Oh no, that sounds like a deal breaker. Is this a common problem or are we just nitpicking?
It's not super common.
Okay.
And the good news is that it's often fixable with a simple exchange.
So if you see it,
Yeah.
just return it.
So if you get a unit with this issue, don't despair. Just contact the retailer and ask for a replacement.
Okay, so maybe a little bit of a gamble, but potentially worth it for the price and performance.
Right.
Speaking of performance, what about OLEDs? Which models are the experts recommending?
Both Digital Trends and CNET agree that the LG C4 is a fantastic OLED option for most people.
Really?
CNET highlights its stunning contrast and vibrant colors,
Yeah.
and the fact that it comes in a wide range of sizes to fit any space,
Wow.
from a cozy bedroom to a spacious home theater.
That's a lot of choices.
It is.
I'm guessing the larger sizes come with a larger price tag, though. What about Samsung? They're known for their TVs too, right?
Absolutely. Digital Trends recommends the Samsung S90D for those who prioritize color accuracy above all else.
Okay.
It uses a technology called QD-OLED, which combines the deep blacks of OLED with the color vibrancy of quantum dots. It's like getting the best of both worlds.
So for the cinephiles out there who are really picky about color,
Yeah.
the S90D might be the perfect choice.
Could be.
But I'm curious, you mentioned earlier that QLEDs are usually better for HDR.
Right.
Does that mean the S90D falls short in that department?
Not at all. The S90D still delivers excellent HDR performance. The color accuracy actually enhances the HDR experience because you're seeing a wider range of colors displayed with incredible precision.
Interesting. It sounds like a strong contender. But I have to ask, are there any downsides to these seemingly perfect OLED models?
Well, there's one area where both the LG C4 and the Samsung S90D could use a little help. Sound quality.
Really? You'd think with those stunning pictures the sound would be just as impressive. What's the issue?
It's not that the sound is terrible.
Okay.
It's just that it doesn't quite match the exceptional picture quality.
Yeah.
The built-in speakers are decent, but they lack the depth and richness that you'd expect from a premium viewing experience.
So if you're investing in one of these OLED beauties, you'll probably want to factor in the cost of a good soundbar to really complete the package.
Exactly. A good soundbar can make a world of difference, especially for movies and shows with immersive soundtracks.
Great point. Okay, so we've got the Hisense U7N for value QLED, the LG C4 for versatility, and the Samsung S90D for color accuracy. But I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
What about those top-tier, ultra-premium models that make tech enthusiasts drool?
You're right. We've only just begun our journey. If you're ready to step into the world of no-compromise performance, get ready for a wild ride. We're talking about TVs that push the boundaries of what's possible with features and picture quality that will blow your mind.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. Bring on the heavy hitters.
All right.
All right, buckle up because we're about to enter the realm of ultra-premium TVs, where cutting-edge technology meets breathtaking picture quality. I'm talking about the TVs that make you rethink what's possible in home entertainment.
Yeah, it's a whole different level of viewing experience.
For sure.
These TVs are designed for those who demand the absolute best and aren't afraid to invest in it.
So let's start with a brand we've already touched on, LG.
Okay.
Their C4 model is already a standout in the OLED category, but they've got something even more impressive up their sleeve. The LG G4 Gallery Series OLED Digital Trends is calling it the brightest OLED on the market.
Yeah, and they're not exaggerating. Most models in the G4 series, except for the massive 97-inch version, feature something called MLA technology, which uses microscopic lenses to focus the light outwards, boosting the overall brightness significantly.
Wait, brighter OLED? That's not something you hear every day.
Right.
I thought OLEDs were known for their contrast and black levels, not necessarily their brightness.
You're right. Traditionally, OLEDs haven't been as bright as QLEDs.
Right.
But LG is really pushing the boundaries here with the G4. Imagine this. You've got a room with a lot of natural light pouring in, but you still want that incredible OLED contrast and those deep cinematic blacks. The G4 can deliver both.
Wow, that's impressive. I can see how that would be a game changer for people who have brightly lit living rooms but don't want to sacrifice picture quality.
Yeah.
But what about other features?
Yeah.
Is the G4 as gamer-friendly as some of the other models we've talked about?
Absolutely. The G4 is packed with features that will make gamers rejoice. It has incredibly low input lag, meaning your actions on the controller translate instantly to the screen, giving you a competitive edge. It also supports pretty much every HDR format out there, so you can experience your games in all their HDR glory.
That's good to know. It sounds like the G4 is a true multimedia powerhouse. But Digital Trends did mention one downside, the lack of a next-gen tuner. What does that even mean? And is it a deal breaker?
A next-gen tuner is basically what you need to receive over-the-air broadcasts in the new ATSC 3.0 standard,
Okay.
which offers higher resolution and better signal quality.
So if you're someone who relies on an antenna for your TV channels, the G4 might not be the best choice.
Yeah, that's true.
For most people.
Yeah.
If you have cable,
Right.
it doesn't really matter.
But for most people who are streaming their content or using cable or satellite, it's not a huge loss.
Yeah.
The G4 still offers an incredible viewing experience overall.
Fair enough. Okay, so we've got LG pushing the brightness envelope with their G4. What about Samsung? They're usually right up there with LG when it comes to innovation.
Right.
What's their answer to the ultra-premium OLED challenge?
CNET is absolutely raving about the Samsung S95D QD OLED. They even crowned it the best TV of the year.
Wow.
And for good reason. It combines the stunning contrast and black levels of OLED with the vibrant color reproduction of quantum dots, resulting in a picture that is simply jaw-dropping.
I remember you mentioned QD OLED earlier. It sounds like a hybrid technology that takes the best aspects of both QLED and OLED.
It does.
But what really stood out to CNET was the S95D's anti-glare screen, right?
Yes. CNET was blown away by how well the S95D handles reflections. They say it's the best they've ever tested in that regard.
Yeah.
Imagine this. You're watching your favorite movie on a sunny afternoon,
Okay.
and instead of battling those annoying reflections that wash out the picture,
Right.
you're completely immersed in the action. That's the power of the S95D's anti-glare technology.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. Brighter OLEDs, better anti-glare. It seems like TV manufacturers are really addressing those common pain points that viewers have been complaining about for years. But if the S95D is so amazing, why didn't Digital Trends choose it as their top pick?
That's a great question. While Digital Trends acknowledges the S95D's strengths, they prefer the picture processing in the LG, Sony, and Panasonic models. They find it to be a bit more refined, especially when it comes to upscaling lower resolution content.
So it's a trade-off. You're getting ultimate brightness and anti-glare with the S95D, but maybe sacrificing a tiny bit of processing finesse. It sounds like those nuances are really important at the ultra-premium level.
They definitely are. When you're spending this much on a TV, every detail matters.
Okay, let's talk about a brand that's synonymous with picture quality. Sony.
Yeah.
Their A95L OLED has been the reigning champion for 2 years running.
Yeah.
Consistently praised for its exceptional picture accuracy and detail. What makes it so special?
Sony has a long history of producing TVs with stunning picture quality, and the A95L is no exception. Digital Trends says it's simply the best picture they've ever seen, period. It's all thanks to Sony's proprietary processing technology, which analyzes and optimizes every frame to deliver the most realistic and immersive viewing experience possible.
2 years in a row at the top of the game.
It's impressive.
That's an impressive track record. But you mentioned earlier that there's a new challenger on the horizon, right?
Oh, yeah.
A TV that could potentially dethrone the A95L.
It's true. The Panasonic Z95A OLED has finally arrived in North America, and it's making waves in the TV world. Digital Trends is calling it legendary, and early impressions are incredibly positive.
Legendary. That's a bold statement. What makes the Z95A so special?
It all comes down to Panasonic's renowned picture processing expertise,
Okay.
which is considered by many to be the best in the industry. The Z95A uses the same MLA OLED panel as the LG G4, but with Panasonic's secret sauce sprinkled on top. It's like taking an already incredible picture and making it even more breathtaking.
So it's brighter thanks to MLA technology, and it benefits from Panasonic's processing magic. What else does the Z95A bring to the table?
Well, unlike some of the other OLED models we've discussed, the Z95A actually boasts an impressive built-in audio system. Yeah. You might not even need a soundbar with this one.
Wow, that's a game changer. Most of these ultra-slim TVs have sacrificed sound quality for design. It's refreshing to see a company prioritizing audio as well.
It is. And to top it all off, the Z95A runs Amazon's Fire TV OS, which is known for its user-friendly interface and extensive app selection.
Okay, so it's got the picture, the sound, and a user-friendly platform. This is shaping up to be a serious contender for the title of Best TV. But Digital Trends hasn't released their full review yet, right?
Right. They're still putting the Z95A through its paces.
Okay.
But early impressions suggest that this could be the new king of TVs.
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat here. It sounds like this is going to be a close call.
It definitely is. We've got the LG G4 with its groundbreaking brightness, the Samsung S95D with its incredible anti-glare technology, the Sony A95L with its proven track record of exceptional picture quality, and the Panasonic Z95A as the potential new champion. It's a tough choice,
Right.
but a good problem to have.
It's like trying to choose between 4 Ferraris. No matter which one you pick, you're in for an amazing ride.
Exactly. But before we get carried away with these ultra-premium models, it's important to remember that not everyone needs or can afford a top-of-the-line TV. There are plenty of great options available at lower price points.
That's a good point. We've been focusing on the best of the best, but what about those of us who are working with a tighter budget?
Yeah.
Are there any hidden gems out there that offer great value without sacrificing too much on performance?
Absolutely. And that's actually a perfect segue into our next topic. We've talked about the TVs that excel in picture quality, brightness, and features. But there's another category that's worth discussing. The TVs that might not be the best, but are definitely trending.
Oh, right. Smart uShopper had that interesting take on a Hisense model that's gaining popularity, but maybe not for the right reasons. What was it again?
The Hisense A4 series.
Yeah.
It's a budget-friendly option that's been popping up everywhere.
Okay.
But Smart uShopper points out a few potential downsides that buyers should be aware of.
Like what? Give us the lowdown.
Well, for starters, it only has a 720p resolution on a 32-inch screen. Now, that might be fine for a small bedroom or a kitchen where you're not doing any serious viewing.
Right.
But if you're used to higher resolutions like 1080p or 4K,
Yeah.
it might feel like a step backwards.
I can see how that would be disappointing, especially with so many affordable 4K TVs on the market these days.
Exactly. And another thing to consider is the 60 Hz refresh rate. This isn't a deal breaker for casual viewing,
Right.
but for gamers who are into fast-paced action games, a higher refresh rate is essential for smooth motion and a responsive gaming experience.
So it's stylish, it's affordable, but maybe not the best choice for serious gamers or those who want the sharpest picture. It's a good reminder that popularity doesn't always equate to quality.
Exactly. It's important to do your research and figure out what features and specs are most important to you. Don't just buy a TV because it's trendy or because everyone else is talking about it.
That's great advice. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, but at the end of the day, the best TV for you is the one that meets your specific needs and budget.
Absolutely. And sometimes the best TV isn't the newest or the most expensive. It's the one that's the best fit for your lifestyle and viewing habits.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground here, from value-packed QLEDs to ultra-premium OLEDs that push the boundaries of technology. It's been an eye-opening journey through the world of TVs.
It has. And we hope you've gained some valuable insights that will help you make an informed decision when it's time to upgrade your viewing experience.
But before you rush off to the store, stick around for our final thoughts and a provocative question to ponder as you embark on your TV buying adventure. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
You bet.
I hope you're feeling less overwhelmed and more empowered to choose the perfect TV for your needs.
That's the goal.
We've worked you through the QLED versus OLED dilemma,
Right.
highlighted the pros and cons of different models, and even explored some potential pitfalls to avoid.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Well, yeah.
But what does it all boil down to? What are the key takeaways you want listeners to remember as they start browsing for their new TV?
I think the most important thing is to be honest with yourself about your viewing habits and priorities.
Okay.
Do you watch a lot of movies in a dimly lit room? OLED might be your best bet for that immersive cinematic experience, with its perfect blacks and incredible contrast.
But if you've got a bright, sunny living room and you're a big fan of HDR content,
a QLED could be the way to go for its impressive brightness and vibrant colors.
absolutely. And of course, your budget plays a huge role.
For sure.
The good news is that you can find amazing TVs at a variety of price points.
Yeah.
The key is to do your research and understand what features and specs matter most to you.
Don't be afraid to read reviews, compare models,
Yeah.
and even visit a store to see these TVs in person.
Right.
It's a big investment, so take your time and make an informed decision. It's like test driving a car before you buy it, right? You want to make sure it feels right for you.
That's a great analogy. Speaking of feeling right, one thing that often trips people up is the sheer number of choices available.
Oh, yeah.
It can be paralyzing trying to keep up with the latest and greatest technology.
And just when you think you found the perfect TV,
Yeah.
a newer model comes out with even more bells and whistles. It's a never-ending cycle.
It is.
Right.
Which brings us to a final thought-provoking question for our listeners. With 2025 TVs just around the corner, is it worth waiting for the latest and greatest? Or is the allure of a discounted 2024 model too good to pass up?
That's the age-old dilemma, isn't it? New tech is always tempting,
Yeah,
But waiting comes with its own risks.
for sure.
You might miss out on some great deals on current models.
Yeah,
And who knows how long it'll be before those 2025 TVs see any significant price drops.
exactly.
Tough choices.
It's a balancing act, for
Yeah.
sure. Do you prioritize having the absolute newest technology, or are you comfortable with slightly older tech at a potentially lower price? There's no right or wrong answer here.
It really comes down to personal preference and how much value you place on having the latest and greatest. But here's something to consider. Even the most advanced TV is only as good as the content you watch on it.
So true. Once you've made your decision, the real fun begins.
Yeah.
Go find something amazing to watch, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Exactly. And if you're still feeling a bit lost in the TV jungle, remember that all the links to the YouTube sources we mentioned are in the show notes. Dive deeper, compare models, and make that informed decision. We're confident you'll find the perfect TV for your needs.
Happy viewing.
And we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.